Welcome to the second episode of the iPhone 16e in Japan. This is a two-part video I wanted to do of just my travel experience and my experience of using the iPhone 16e. So if you haven't seen the first episode, I will link that down below. Matter of fact, I will put both of the videos in a playlist. Now with this video, I want to start exactly where I left off, and which was at food. I didn't really discuss food in the first episode, and I've got to say, the food is absolutely amazing. And when you think of Japan, one of the first things that you're going to think about is probably either sushi or ramen. And I am more of the ramen person because I love sushi and I love to have it here in the United States. But the problem is, sushi in Japan is a totally different ballgame. It's not the same whatsoever. Although I did have like a lot of the seafood and, just bunch of ramen, and by far everything about the ramen, from like the first experience I had, from the broth to how creamy it is, to just the texture of the noodles, and then the mixture of ingredients of the meat and all the different vegetables and the spices. It just comes together in a very beautiful way that I don't think I will get to experience ramen in the same way. I've already actually gone out recently, a couple weekends ago, after coming back. I went out and tried this one ramen place, and it was nowhere close. So if you love ramen or if you love sushi, you're gonna have a good time. One thing I really loved about the food was just the portion sizes. I mean, we're used to eating bigger portions here in the United States, and it's something I've incorporated into my daily life, just reducing my portion size a little bit. Because one thing I realized over there was that I felt really good. Like the portion sizes were big enough to satisfy me, but at the same time, like I didn't get up feeling full. And it's that whole thing, like they like to eat to 80%. So it's kind of like, taking care of your battery health. You charge the phone to 80%, and you're going to give it a long life in the long run, right? So it's kind of the same way. Like you don't overload your stomach at one given point. And that's the beautiful thing about traveling is you get to go around and you see different places and you see the way people are living their lives, and you can kind of pick apart different things that really stick with you and incorporate them into your life. And it's really eye-opening. And that's probably one of my favorite things about travel. So, you know, and with travel, we often just are like, you know what, I'll travel when the kids are older, or I'll travel when this happens, or when I have enough money, and when I have this. I think you got to prioritize travel because it's really just going to open your mind up to different ways of how people live their lives. So now by this point of the trip, I had been using the iPhone 16e so many days, and I was already impressed by it. As you're seeing different videos and photos that are popping up on your screen and you're watching this, that should show you. I mean, I don't know what else I could possibly do to show that this camera is good. And I get it that this device is not perfect. People need multiple focal lengths. People want high resolution cameras. People want the pro lineup of phones, and that's fine. But my main purpose has just been to showcase that for those of you that are looking at this device and you do prefer a lighter device with a minimal design and really good battery life and just one camera, you can still do everything and get good results with your device. So hopefully, all that I'm sharing helps you really decide whether or not this device can fit into your life. And for me, it was like battery life, easily top half of the day I would get through, because we would leave our hotel once and we were not coming back until after dinner. So we were out the entire day. That's how we were managing to get those 20 to 30,000 steps. Like we wanted to make the most of our days there. And so we were out the entirety of the day. And I could easily go till like 12, 1 o'clock before I would have to put the battery pack. Or if I'm riding the subway, I'd use the battery pack to just connect the USB-C cable to the iPhone and charge it faster that way. And then be good for another several hours. So battery life, honestly, there's no phone that's going to get you through the entirety of the day when you're on a trip like this, especially if you're out all day. But this goes a lot further before you have to actually think about the battery. And keep in mind, I always like to charge at like 30-35%. So I don't even let my battery go down all the way. So if you were somebody that really wants to use the entirety of the device, then you could even go further than I was able to do so. So battery life, really great. Now, cellular connection. I mentioned in the previous video that I was really impressed, and before the trip, I was really worried whether or not the C1 chip was actually going to function well. When we went to Osaka specifically, we went to go see the Osaka castle. For some reason, when we got there, we got out of the subway, my wife's phone did not have service whatsoever. And so we were using my phone to basically get the directions to the castle. Now, her signals kept coming in and out in like different spots as we moved around, but for the majority part of it, she just didn't have signal. And I kind of got worried because when she didn't have signal, I thought that maybe I won't have signal, but I was able to do perfectly fine, except for like one spot when we were at the castle. There was a specific spot that we were at, and over there, I didn't have signal for like a minute or two. But then I like slightly moved and I was back to being fine. So honestly, I don't know if it's just Japan alone, but just going through all these different subways and moving around throughout Japan, the cell phone service has been amazing. And so the C1 chip, once it makes it to other devices, it's going to be really awesome because it's a very efficient chip. And I mentioned this in the previous video, and I'll mention it again. When I have typically used phones just for their cellular device, and you're just kind of using it the entire day, and then you've got battery packs on there, they get really hot. The iPhone 16e didn't do that whatsoever. So, C1 chip, once it makes it to the other devices, it's going to be a wonderful addition. I've been really blessed and really lucky to travel ever since I got married. I've been traveling quite a lot. Me and my wife, we went on a cross country trip just in the United States. And, I often tell my friends, I wish I was doing this YouTube thing back then because I'd be able to show you different cities and what I learned from just going to different states within the United States alone. It's like each place is its own people and own food and own culture. And then, traveling internationally to Morocco and then Banff, Canada, and then recently Japan, Saudi Arabia. So just going to these different places. But I'd have to say that by far, I really was impressed by the people in Japan, the culture of Japan, how clean it is, how how like structured it is. It was just really an experience that's going to really stick with me. And that's the beauty. Like, go out there and please travel. Do yourself the favor. Travel anywhere. Like I mentioned, even when we traveled within the United States, going to different states, people are different. People interact differently. People's vibe is different. So it's just wonderful to see all the different ways that people live their lives, whether whatever color they are or wherever they come from. It's just really beautiful. This world is a beautiful place, and place by place, you get to take in and just absorb how people live and go about their daily lives. And it's just such an eye opener. I really hope that me sharing not only my experience of the iPhone, but also my experience of travel has been something that you've really enjoyed. And I really appreciate to all the people that commented on the first one that they were waiting for the second episode. That really meant a lot. Not only did I get to showcase the device, but I also got to share what I felt and what I experienced while I was in Japan with both the country, its people, and the iPhone 16e. I really hope that this has been something that you enjoy. And going forward, I love to do this again. If you have enjoyed, please do give it a thumbs up. Comment down below with any questions. And like always, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you watching. Until next time, take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.